So I just finished shooting social media content for my client, and I thought, why not to show you my real life process, how I create content for my clients. So as today's project was mainly video project, I always need to take one kind of a cover image from the main composition that I have. So today I will show you how I take this cover image, and I will skip all the product video stuff, and let's just stick to the image content. By the way, I do quite a lot of video content lately. I could say it's even 50-50 already with the images that I shoot social media content like reels for TikTok, Instagram, stuff like that, some product videos, and then on the side I'm creating those images as well for the cover images, banners, everything like that. And for example, in this situation right now, in here, it's a bit different than it is usually when I'm showing you how I shoot product videos or product photos, because today it's all about video. Video was primary for this project, and it means that I'm using continuous light and not flashes. That's why it's a bit different. So yeah, continuous light for the video, and I already have the whole setup here as I just finished shooting the video content. And now let's take the image. The setup itself is rather simple. My main idea was to create a Flatlay image for the client, and I wanted to have this dark surface, table surface, and our product is just standing or laying in the middle of the composition, and then I just filled it up with some accessories. And for the table surface this time I just didn't want to go with a simple black smooth surface. I wanted to use something different, and for that I found one really interesting handcraft paper that you get to buy from a crafting store or something like that. And this is what it is. It's really having this interesting pattern, and I think we can get really awesome results using this one as a table surface. So let's get started. What we have right now here is two lights. One main light that is coming onto the product, and the other one is the backlight that I'm using to create this ambient light. So I will just turn on the live view on the computer so you could see what's going on in here, and I will quickly show you what lights I'm using and how they are used. So here is my live view. This is what I have so far. Quite simple setup. Apple Watch is in the middle of the composition. This is our main product. And then I have my phone on the left corner and some notebooks on the right corner, and it creates this balanced composition. And now, let me tell you about the lights. I have two lights here. My main light, the ambient light, is, let me just raise this one. My ambient light is coming just from this tube light. I'm using this one to create this overall soft light. And this is just one simple light on the background. And now let's take this diffusion material back down here. It was something like that, I think. And now, why am I using this large diffusion material? There is a specific reason, and there is a specific reason why I'm using this in an angle like that. Because when you look at the monitor right now here, then you see this clasp in here. And this is something that is glossy and I need to make it visible so that it's nicely shining on a dark surface. If, for example, let's take it away. If I take it off, then let's see what happens if there's only just this one tube light. Can you see the difference now? This is what we see when the light is just hitting directly the clasp. And now if I bring back my diffusion material, then this is how you see everything. So diffusion material helps me to illuminate the clasp properly and creates this beautiful, soft, nice reflection. So this is what I like, and I use this 100% all the time when lighting up metallic glossy elements. Now, next thing on the table here that is affected by this same diffusion material is my phone. My phone is in here right now, and as you can see, this phone is not placed onto the table flat like this, because when I put it in here, then you can see from the live view it's not visible. It's not visible at all, and the reason is that this glossy phone is not picking up any reflections right here. It needs to be a little bit tilted towards this diffusion material to catch the light from there, and then it will become visible. For example, if I now just raise the bottom of the phone here and move it towards the diffusion material, then you see on the live view how it will be visible, and it's picking up the reflection from the diffusion material. So that's why I need to raise this phone, the bottom part of the phone, a little bit. I just created this kind of a stand here, as usual, stuff from the studio that I can just get my hands on, nothing special. And now this is placed on the side here. Let's move it a little bit here. Now this is what I'm illuminating with my main light, my kind of main ambient light. And now the second light is the one that is coming onto the product and creating this light shining throughout the composition, this specific light ray that is coming from this side and covering the whole composition. I'm using my small rig RC220B light, and on this light I have optical snoot. Optical snoot is a specific light modifier that I also use very, very often during my shoots, whatever I do, video or photo. I use it pretty much all the time, because optical snoot is a snoot that you can modify when you are shooting products. You can change the shape of the light that is shining onto the products. For example, there are specific modifiers inside this, and if I now just change these blades here, then I can make the light either wider or thinner, however I like. You can see this on the live view, and I can modify my light exactly like I want. This is really effective thing, and I think I will talk about that a bit longer in another video, sometimes later. All right. So this is what I have here. It's pretty much set up to shoot a video content. So let's see what happens if I now take the image. So this is what I have here on the camera right now. I have basic settings. One of 200 is shutter speed, aperture, f13 and ISO 100. Let's try it out what happens if I take the shot. And on the photo, what do we have? Completely dark image. Yep, it's because we don't have enough power. So I think the only way right now, as I want to keep my f13 aperture, then I think the only way is to increase the shutter speed and make the shutter speed longer, so it will be able to capture more light during the longer period of time. So if I take this and let's see, we can go slower, like half a second maybe. Let's try it out what happens then. Okay, now we are getting somewhere. It's much better than it was before. Now we see something already, but I think we need to increase the time even more, and let's see what happens then. Let's take, I think, roughly 1.5 seconds, something like that, and let's take the shot. Nah, this is messed up. It has focus in a wrong place. Let's try it again. All right, this is our image. It's not bad at all. Well, we do have pretty much everything visible. We can turn on exposure warning, and then I see that I'm missing some details on the LCD, on the strap here, and also on the metallic parts here, which means I should take my ambient light down a little bit, but I think instead of changing any kind of lights here, I will just change the shutter speed, and let's make it shorter, 1.3 seconds. Let's take another shot just to see if it's having any effect on the image. All right, we are getting there. Let's make it 1 second, 1 second image, and then I think I'm happy with this one. It looks good, and I can probably bring back those highlights still in post, because right now this exposure warning is not set for 100%. It's not completely burned in this area, and I know that I can bring back those details in here still in the post. For example, if I go here, adjustment area, and let's take some highlights down. All right, getting better, much better now. If I turn on my exposure warning, then it's gone. So yeah, I think let's keep it that way, like it is here. And I can even raise the shadows just a bit. Yeah, that's it. This is my image. This is my quick shot for the client. And right now, when I'm looking at this image, I still think that it's not perfect. It's missing something, because it's, for me right now, it is just a bit too simple, too boring. Maybe we can add in some kind of effective lighting in here. So I would like to add one extra light, and for this one I will use one additional tube light. Let's turn it on, and I want to have it red like it is right now. Let's try to add some kind of accent lighting that is coming from the left side of the frame and illuminating a little bit the light, the table surface, and a little bit the product itself. So let's try it out. Let's turn on the live view again, just quickly, so we can see where we can place it. Oh yeah, I already see a pretty awesome difference in the composition. It makes a big difference. Okay, so if I now take the shot, oh yeah, this is looking good. This is much better comparing to the previous image. The previous one is clean, just black and white, but on the right one I really like this red light that is coming from this third one. What else do I need? I think I need also LCD screen. One way I see here that it's a bit too dusty. Let's wipe off this dust. Now let's take another shot just to see if it is cleaner. Here we go. Yes, now it's clean. And now the main issue that I always have when shooting images like this, usually I need to add in my LCD screen in post, because there is a reason that when I'm taking the shot as this right now, let's have this one, let's mark my, this is my main file. And now let's try one where the LCD screen is turned on in real life, and let's take the image. Then I see that it's okay, it is like looking nice almost, but I know that if I add this LCD screen in post, then I get much better results. So yeah, this would be just the easiest way to go. Turn on your LCD and you get image like this, but you can also replace that in Photoshop later on, because if I zoom in now, then I can see that the color of the LCD is not matching correctly with my studio lights, so it means that my studio lights are a bit softer and the LCD is looking a bit too cold. So one way would be just to keep this one, make it a bit warmer in the post, and the other option would be just to use this file here and then add LCD screen in post. And also one additional thing that I want to change maybe in the post is this red color spill on the product. As this is the product, the main model on our image, then I think it should be maybe a little bit cleaner without this strong red reflection. So for that, I think I have to take one extra image. So this is my main, this is for the LCD, and the third one I need to take off this red light and take one last image. So why do I need to take this image? This is for the watch band, and I want to keep this watch band as clean as possible without any kind of extra colors on it, maybe just something on the side here visible, but not like covering the whole band from this area. So what I do in post is now that I will take this as a main image, and then I will mask in some areas from this band here, and then I will have nice and clean watch band. So that's it. I just wanted to show you this simple setup, how I shoot social media content, cover image for the social media video, and yeah, this is how it's done. Real life, real work, and took me just a little bit time to set it up, take the shot, and I can deliver this one quickly to the client, and hopefully everybody will be happy. If you have any comments, any questions, then just let's have a discussion in the comments area, and in the meantime, yep, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.